From the Tennessee Valley Weather Center, this is your evening weather update.
Starting out to be a nice afternoon again on this Thursday across the Tennessee Valley. Here's a live look at the Arctic Air Skycam network late this afternoon before we head into the evening hours. Mostly sunny out there after some morning cloud cover, but that burned off pretty quickly and just a few passing clouds from time to time this afternoon. But we'll have a slight increase in cloud cover overnight as a dry front here dips into the area. No rain chances with that, but a slight increase in cloud cover, just a little bit, and that's going to keep lows tonight closer to the mid to upper 60s versus the lower 60s we've had the past couple mornings in a few places, but no rain chances to speak of. And once again, like the past couple days, I don't have rain chances in the forecast for at least the next 7 days here across the local area. Futurecast this evening, mostly clear skies, dropping back out of the 80s into the 70s around sunset, and then into the 60s overnight. You see this band of cloud cover working in, especially after midnight into the early morning hours. That acts as a little bit of an insulating blanket, so we don't radiate as much and lose as much of the warmth overnight. So we'll be in the mid to upper 60s for morning lows around daybreak here on your Friday morning. Will be a nice day for our Friday as well. We're back to mostly sunny skies as we head into the afternoon. Daytime highs a little warmer, most of us in the mid to upper 80s, although a few locations over, especially northwest Alabama, could briefly get closer to the lower 90s, but still dry out there. Low humidity, so the lower 90s are not going to feel all that bad if you do briefly hit that over northwest Alabama. And then cooling back out of the 80s into the 70s after sunset for Friday evening again, which is really good news. Weather looking just fine for those first Friday night high school football games we have going on to start the high school football season this year. High pressure in charge of the forecast for the next few days here, but it will be shifting eastward with time. That allows a little bit more cloud cover in here over the weekend, but still no rain chances, even though we will have a few fronts close to the area that will be dry in nature. And then with more of a deep layer easterly flow next week, a few more clouds, but still staying dry with the deeper moisture shunted down closer to the Gulf of Mexico. Warming up the next several days, mid to upper 80s Friday and Saturday. And then we're into the low to mid 90s going into next week. And we may turn a little hot again as we head into next week as high pressure ridge builds over much of the central United States. We are watching the tropics. We have a couple different disturbances out here trying to get better organized. National Hurricane Center continues to watch both of these for the possibility of tropical development as they head northwest. Early indications are these will probably have a good chance of recurving out into the open Atlantic, but we'll watch it carefully. We'll still be watching late weekend, early next week for the possibility of a tropical depression or a weak tropical storm to develop in the western Gulf of Mexico that would be moving from east to west, either toward the Texas coast or the northern Mexican coast. No local impacts here across the Tennessee Valley, but that may provide some well-needed rain to portions of central and southern Texas next week. As always, we'll be watching that carefully for you. Getting out of the 70s into the 60s, deeper into the overnight hours here. Morning lows between the mid to upper 60s with a mix of sun and clouds to start our Friday morning. Not too bad of a day out there. We're going to be mostly sunny, partly cloudy once again, with sunshine increasing into the afternoon as clouds move on out with that dry front moving southward. Mid to upper 80s over southern middle Tennessee for your hometown forecast. Mainly upper 80s over northwest Alabama, although a few folks, especially in the Shoals metro area, may briefly get toward the lower 90s. We'll watch that. Otherwise, mostly sunny to partly cloudy. Here's your 7-day forecast. First thing you'll notice, not a single rain chance on the board again for the next 7 days. Slight increase in cloud cover as we go into the weekend and early next week as we get a deep layer easterly flow from the Atlantic. But the deeper moisture stays south, so no rain chances around, but we will be warming up, and that means daytime highs possibly well up into the mid, if not upper 90s going into the middle and latter part of next week. There's your latest 7-day forecast. I'll be back at 9 o'clock with another check of your local weather.